Have you made any videos yet or anything?
Yes, I just went
Um,
live.
um, try connecting your YouTube account to your Discord. It. That's weird. Yeah, connect your Just Hornet YT account YouTube to your Discord, and then it'll link up.
Disable my streamer mode for a second though. The connections, YouTube, that.
Yeah, you gotta make sure it's doing your correct channel. Cause I go to connections on mine.
There we go.
Let me see. Let me see. Connection, yeah, cause for mine, what the heck? Why do they keep enabling stream mode? It's so dumb. How do I turn that off, bro? I still can't find a prison self promo. What? I don't know why I can't find it. It's like I don't get it. It's really weird. Maybe I unsubscribed. What the frick? Just Hornet. No, I don't see it. Maybe I unsubscribed. Maybe I did.
Self promote.
That would suck if I did that. Oh, I'm not even subscribed to this channel. I'm not. I never knew about it. There you go. Got a new subscriber. Wow, you just got. Okay, you can stop streaming now if you want to. Yeah. I will be. I should get my dinner cooked soon. Starving. The only reason why I might be streaming on YouTube just maybe a little bit more is so that I can transfer my YouTube audience to my Twitch. That's the only reason why. I don't stream it because for fun. I try to just transfer my audience. Drag you over here, and then I'll be here. Alright, I'm here.
That's a I'm gonna be probably doing a giveaway once I get the 200 subscribers on YouTube. So.
Right foot up, left foot slide.
I actually I have on accident, so.
Fly her across the
No. Mute the audio for a second so I can change these. Uh,
It's pretty easy to do that. And so apparently for Kendall's server, it went pretty bad. And I am tired of her server, and I like literally left, and I want to just be like a regular member. I don't want to be an admin. Because literally, so we're chatting. Then all of a sudden, I don't know who gives this person an admin role. I don't know who did it. Because just GK server is messed up. And literally I did that roles starting to get deleted, not roles, but text channels were getting deleted, voice channel, not voice channels, but a bunch of categories were getting deleted. Everything was getting messed up, and then literally this guy just started banning like a lot of people. Yeah. So that's the moral of that story. But screw her server. I'm just gonna. She can text me back whenever she wants to, and I'll just join her server. But I'm not gonna be a mod. I'm not gonna be. I might be a mod, but not an admin, because I have to deal with so much, man. It's just so.
Yesterday was fun. Gilbert, you want to see something?
Yeah.
I'm on my phone, so don't mind it. Okay. Alright. You see it?
Yes.
Wrong chat. This is just Ochulu, me, Kendall, and Zenny fighting.
Of course, he's kind of a bitch, no.
hey,
Okay, it starts right here.
what did you just say?
What?
I'm streaming. What did you say?
It wasn't about you, trust me. It wasn't about you.
Yeah, but I'm streaming. I don't have to
That-
see on my YouTube yet.
No one's watching her, besides me or.
What? I'm not watching. I was.
So where's the star at?
Oh, we started. Like right here. Scarab said something, and that's where it really started.
Wow, my.
Did
Did Kendall win?
Oh no, I tried it wrong. Then I lied about it. I said I was 9. Then Chulu said he told. Oh no, never mind. I can't say the whole thing. Oh. And then she got zapped.
Were you guys Zach involved? Where is she at?
I'm looking. Oh. There you go.
Okay, stop the arguing then. Wait. No, he was saying more stuff. You're scrolling too fast. He said something else. No, scroll up more. Then scroll up more. Stop the arguing. And okay, now scroll down. It's his pink username, so keep scrolling. Okay. You're about to get banned using this. Oh wow. And keep scrolling. Watch your mouth.
18 seconds left.
Wait, whose service is this?
This is like this is Zach, but it's a very.
Oh, is this the anti-government one?
Yeah.
Oh my. my gosh. Wow, man.
There you go.
Oh my.
Right around.
So honestly, which server's worse, the anti-government or the super happy fantastical?
Anti-government, because literally when you have true on Kindle, it's really
Whew. Yeah,
8.
but yeah.
If Kindle's in any server, it's still 8.
Hey Zenny.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we were just talking about the story of the anti-government when Kendall passed.
Oh yeah, no, he was a part of that fight.
What?
Oh yeah, I got new glasses.
Oh. Well, it's because well yeah, true, but yeah, okay. Yeah, you're streaming, so that counts.
You have to get reading glasses.
Yeah, I literally heard what happened. Like, that literally tells me I don't need to be
well, you
in
need
the
to get
exact
out
secondary
there.
server.
Never come right here.
Trying to be like terrible with that long ass fucking hair.
I want to cut it. I'm gonna cut it when quarantine ends to see how long it grows.
See about Scarab's hair, his is long, but it looks extremely smooth.
Oh yeah. My state, we have an option to wear a mask and not wear a mask.
Oh, jeez.
So we don't have to wear a mask in public.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Gilbert, you wanna play Apex with us?
I'm so hungry. Am I able to play one game? I'm just so hungry right now.
I've already ate
Here,
like 5 chicken
just
sandwiches today. Thing is, they're spicy.
Oh, bro, I need glasses in so long. Oh, did you see who was Scarab was on Apex playing with Hornet and Crispy?
Nice.
Yeah, I saw that. I knew it was Crispy. I just knew. Because this is a party full.
He just knew it was that person. Oh yeah.
Like,
No.
who else would you guys play with? Baited? Nah, you guys don't even talk to me.
Probably not.
And then Joe and Nick were offline. Zach was also offline. Zenny was playing Fortnite. So I knew it had to be Crispy or someone new to the server because that would be Zenny's
Apex
level
Legends
6
is updating. Let's go, Apex. Let's go.
The update's like 2 seconds go.
I know, I'm joking.
Can't believe we're not being able to download it.
Finish up. Holy crap. There you go. Play. There you go.
I like how both of the legendaries.
I'll play a couple
after the
rounds, but
first-
by
I
the
like
time
how
you do
both
it.
of the legendaries, since the past 2 of them, they're like in the second slot of the item shop.
I want the platinum skin. That thing looks so nice.
No stuff in your food.
I am fine.
You go to Watson, go to her legendary styles, and unlock them, and then you can just unlock it.
Oh, I got legendary.
I mean, you know, you can just use crafting materials.
I got a Bloodhound finisher. Really?
Really?
Oh my god, you're going so smooth right now.
Oh, it's the one where you put his gun on his face.
They have duos? Wow, wait, what's this? Practice all weapons.
Zenny, I got the
Oh,
whip on
sweet. I
weapon.
love the practice all
I
weapons.
wanted that one. You know, instead of buying the Watson one, you could just use crafting materials and it'd be 10 times easier.
Yeah, but like, why would I want to do that? You get free 5 Apex tracks. Gilbert, I'm inviting you. I got.
I'm gonna practice some of the guns real quick.
But how do you spell it? What's
Oh,
your
it's
username?
so smooth. Wait.
Is your username Gilbert?
Okay, I can have that.
I'm guessing.
Wait, what the heck?
How do you spell your last name? Gilbert.
What?
How do you spell your last name?
F.O.O.L.
F-L-O-R. F-L-O-R. That's all I got. Nice talk. Okay, Gilbert, continue. By the way, Bloodhound.
Nice. And then I want to get more ammo.
Bloodhound is off limits. You can be the kidnapper.
Whoa.
Alright.
Gilbert, how do you spell your last name again?
I'm just warming up right now.
How do you spell your last name?
I already told you one.
Again.
F.L.O.R.I.A.
Have a skin for my heart.
Not found.
What?
Do you have any
I'll probably add you instead if I work.
Just add Zenny. It's literally Zena. Zena, oh wait.
What, that ammo? Bro.
Ooh,
There
yeah.
you go.
There's a void in your heart, and I put it there. Oh no. That kill punch a little hard. There's a void in your heart. and I put it there.
I get they're ready to shoot right now.
Oh, I also got a G7 stealth skin.
Me, they're
All I
why
want
they're
is
red. Well, not either buy it.
Oh my god. If I ever play Gibraltar, I need that. I need that so bad. The force of gravity finisher, bro.
Gravity finisher.
Yeah, for Gibraltar. That's amazing, bro. I've never seen all the Watson finishers. They have excited.
Alright, I don't think I'm gonna do okay, but I'll just give it a shot. I just want to warm up. Alright. Let me see. Friends. Find friend. Okay, what's yours?
Zenny's Hell.
Z-E-N-Y.
No, I mean my demos.
No,
Doesn't
mine's
matter
longer.
Well, can
We're
I
in
just
the
type
same
it?
lobby, Gilbert.
It's only been 2 weeks since the
you-
last
you guys
finals,
asked
and we're
for-
straight
okay.
back into it here at the ESL Rocket League OCE Championship. The battle for
NY.
Worlds, the battle for the major, and the battle for 25,000 US dollars is all going down this weekend.
Zero.
Here in Sydney, we're waiting for the top 16 to begin. The top 16 gauntlet elimination that is the new format that we've got. And we had a few surprises last week. We expect a few more.
Yeah, we had a few surprises in the
sent you a friend
tournament, but
request.
also, you know, it's only been 2 weeks, but we've had some pretty random roster shuffles going in there as well, so it's always messy in OCE.
Yeah, we've had Leduc already switching teams from Riot
Get
Gaming.
it?
That was probably the biggest news of them all. The team that had come second in the major and won in regional event 3 of the winter split.
Yeah, that was very interesting to see. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, just I don't know. You look at some stuff going on here in OCE, and it's just what's happening.
I've heard the explanation as well from Leduc, and I still don't really understand. He told me that you didn't like the way that they played their play style, and
Wait, did you get
I
my
guess
friend request,
after
Denny?
a bunch of success, it is hard to bring those up.
Z,
But we do have
and
a lot
I
of
did
teams
it right. It's
coming through today, and we've had a
808,
long
yeah.
season so far. We're heading up towards the end of it. There's only 2 events and 1 major to go.
Yeah, it's really exciting to be near the end. You can see these points stacking up. You have Ground Zero at the top. They extended that lead even further, winning the last regional. And you know, the real story is between Cringe Society, Mindfreak, and Renegades, who's going to take that second spot in the rankings.
Yeah,
And
I
I
feel
sent you a
like
friend
Ground
request just
Zero
now.
could just not even
Here,
play
I'm
the
gonna
next
put
2
mine
events
in the
now
Discord.
and still make it. May have to get into that major and play that, but they've done very solidly for themselves. So
Okay.
we did see in the last one a bit of a comeback from Mindfreak and Renegades over Cringe, who got 3rd and 4th place over the top of Cringe's 5th place to make up some of
Found
those
you,
points.
found you,
So
demo.
we'll
Okay, send you
see
a friend request.
a little bit of a journey there, but we're heading into the spring split
Did
now.
not get it.
And as you can see,
What is
very,
wrong with
very
this?
compact
Apex
split.
is so dumb,
They have
dude.
1 week
what is-
off
what's wrong,
after
what's
today
what's wrong?
in order to see the
accepted
next
it.
one. And that's pretty important because it's a 4-day event as well, so a lot of Rocket League for the players.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
it's a
you.
compact
Okay.
season. We're saying it'd be hard for teams to improve, so Leduc just deciding to make a
Alrighty.
completely new team, which is fair. You know, we have the new
I'll try my
format.
best.
Overplayed
It's
the
created some
kidnappers?
interesting seeding coming into,
Okay,
especially
if
last
you wanna
tournament. This
kidnap
tournament's
someone,
a little
you know how
more
to place your
normal, but we have
portal
the,
in
you know,
the
again, the normal day 4
keyboard,
with
so what
the
would it
single
be for me,
elimination,
It
best
should
of
be
7s.
Yep. Same format as last time, but they got here through an open
open
qualifier to find 8 teams, got to the group stage, 20 teams of 5, or 4 pools of 5 for 20 teams total to get to this point, but the top 2 of each pool made it into an upper bracket. We'll have 2 chances today, whether everybody else in the lower bracket who came 3rd, 4th in their pool will only have the 1 shot, the 1 opportunity, no chance to fail. They need to win 2 matches in order to get through that lower bracket.
Yeah, that just very different from the old Swiss format. For the players, just going, you know, before in the Swiss format, you got so many second
You should've got
chances, then
some,
the day 4 was the big, like, do or die, but now, pretty much every team's in that do or die situation except those top 8 going through the upper bracket.
And you get money as well for getting through to day number 4 into that single elimination format. Of course, we've had single elim as our finals throughout the entire season and through every single event. This split will also be the same, so this is the prize split. $1,000 if you make it, but then it really ramps up.
Are
from
you
there.
ready
Yeah,
to
and
carry
you can
me?
see
Is
from
that
the
that's
placings as well, we had
question?
Forbidden Gaming coming second, getting that 5,000 USD for 3 15-year-olds. Completely crazy. I can't even imagine having that kind of money at their age.
Oh yeah, they've done very well for themselves. In fact, I think they may have even qualified themselves to the major at this point as we have a look at the total points standings as of today. Look how far ahead Ground Zero are from everyone else. A bit more of a close battle for that second place, but even still Cringe Society in a very solid spot. And even with the roster change, Riot Gaming are going to keep their spot. You know, normally changing through the middle of the season will ruin your chances, but they bring it in the super sub.
Dude, that
Scruffy.
did
Yeah,
154,
right, Gaming maybe a
bruh.
little too far, but
I
who
know,
knows,
I'm gonna
Scruffy
go
might be
to
able to
it.
carry them, create that
Let's
magic that
go.
we can remember
Let's go
from
in there.
Vive Season
They
1.
are in the lower bracket.
Or you
But,
guys, Mark. Okay, you guys want to go there?
Maybe not then.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
it-
we have
wouldn't it be
Mindfreak
considered
still
a hot
in
drop?
3rd, even after their roster move, losing arguably
one
their
of the most
best
popular
player.
places
So,
on
you know,
the
that
internet.
2nd to 4th
You guys
seed
can
is
do it.
really,
I mean, yeah.
really exciting at the moment.
Yeah,
You gotta
Dials
jump
as well. We talked
Yeah, no,
about
I know,
in
I
the
know.
last event. They kind of counting themselves out.
That's good. Wasn't that
of
be
a
considered a
potential
hot
first
top like in
place, so
Fortnite almost?
you
Because
kind of
it's like
get
near
that
the
gauge
boss.
of that 6, and even
That's
Riot
no
Gaming
This is-
did the same.
This
So
is
it
Tilted
really feels like a
Towers
battle for top
of,
4.
Apex.
Still
No,
tons
it's
of
not. No,
battle
stop.
towards
Yeah.
a
Let me go
major
in
team
there.
process. Even
There's
though have a lot
always
of
people
points
here,
now,
no matter
are going to
what.
have to do well today, this weekend,
Well,
in order to make sure that they can secure a major. Forbidden Gaming earned so many points last week and
And it-
have
there's
another
always, like, one
confirmed top
team going
12
down.
No
that
way
they
that
should be
winning
all
is
but
good.
confirmed for the major already. Although with 10 slots for the major,
The one game
as
that
far
no
as
one
I'm
Oh,
wants.
aware,
somebody in here?
or as far as I can guess, 10 slots for the major
Good.
means that it is
Amir?
going to be a much
Is this
closer
Marvin?
battle
Don't
for
wait.
that major.
Is it a robot?
Yeah, for
or
sure.
is
We
it-
have Dos Infernos being the old what was their name?
Come
last
here, come here,
week?
come here.
It was something confusing.
They were class on the
Oh,
grass,
yeah,
now
class
they're
on the
Deus
grass.
and Feros.
It's
Is that how they're
Means
pronounced?
Wait,
Deus is like God
Go fight.
in Latin, and then Feros
Oh,
is like
gee,
underworld. So
no.
I'm assuming they're like God of the underworld. Kind of
Wow.
name. I don't know.
Oh,
That's
How'd
deep.
that happen?
Yeah.
That's too deep for me. I'm just gonna call them
I
Deuce
tried.
Inferno.
I don't-
Deuce, you play that game
Zenny's
Deuce
looming
X
in-
and yeah, call it right.
There's a crypto right under you.
Man, how do you not know?
I don't know how that
Come
happens
on.
like that.
It's a hard high school experience, that one.
Yeah, well, here we have today's matches. We're finally about to get underway.
I feel like
Ground
there's so
Zero
many
versus
buttons on
Mind
this game.
Freak.
This is,
That
like,
is the
really
number 1 seed
stressful,
versus,
I don't know why.
funnily
Oh,
enough,
yeah,
the
Zenny's
number
getting
8
good.
seed, just due to how it went in the group stages the other day.
There's
Renegade's got a
Bro,
rematch
like, I
though
literally
against
feel like this
Forbidden
game,
Gaming.
there's
Yeah,
like
that's
so
that's
many
definitely
buttons you
exciting and
press.
gonna be
Like,
our first
like,
matchup as well. We won't be seeing the Ground Zero Mind Freak one. And we have Cringe Society as well coming up
The
against
Oculus
Direwolves,
one
and Cringe
Mhm.
Society getting that 8th
I put one more
spot
game,
last
I'm gonna go
regional when they
get
were in a
my
great
game.
spot to extend that lead. Maybe a bit shaky, gonna have to keep eyes on them.
Yeah, and I do want you to talk about this last matchup. I think it's the most
Like, what do
interesting
you,
matchup.
what do you think we did
So
wrong?
how do I
there, you
pronounce
think?
it?
Deus and Feros.
Deus.
Deus.
What?
Yeah.
Deus.
What do you think we did wrong there?
Inferos. Alright,
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, well, we
Zenny
have
not
Canberra
being
Havoc,
with
the
us.
permanent
Shut the
8th team, and we
Mhm.
have Deus Inferos. Really
And-
new
and
team,
being
lots of
bad.
There's
motivation,
38
grinding a
days
lot of ranked,
already
and
main
they're going to be
season
really
eight.
looking
Wow,
to
I
take
feel
down
like
Canberra
why
Havoc
these
to get that
seasons
top
feel so
8.
short?
I just like
right?
getting an insight into your mind. The permanent
There's
8th team, they
80
could be
there's
called the
80 days
permanent
in this
5th
season.
team, but you go the other way. You always go
Well, this season's
very
flowing.
hot
Okay,
of
check that
place,
out.
so,
Fire
I like
in.
it. I like it. So from now on, anybody who comes into those semi-finals are in 4th place as well.
Oh, no,
Here's
I
our
saw
lower
that.
bracket. Dumbo's team, a bit of a surprise there. We've got Leduc over on Dumbo's team, alongside Dumbo and Riv, an old duo. So they're making their comeback here in the lower bracket.
Yeah, Dumbo's team's going to be
Probably
exciting.
reskin of one of the
Very
Bloodhound
old
skins.
throwback to the
Yeah, I know
Dumbo
you're
era.
talking.
And Team Process and Riot
Not a
Gaming,
reskin, it
Process
had
looking
to
really
be
good. They were
add-on
missing
sort of
Laxon
it.
very sorely last regional. They looked very not able to do much without him, but he had a good showing in the RLO weekly.
And that's a
Gilbert, I
callback
invited
to
you
the
for as
major of Winter Split, where Team Process, they got 4-0'd by
What
Riot
call
Gaming,
then?
who were
Got a
obviously
call.
hot to trot and looking for
Oh.
the grand final, and even got close to a win in that one.
I had
So crazy
no
to see the
invite for
times that we're in.
I just
Donkey
said
Squad
you.
versus Vertex should be an interesting one for
No,
me
I
as
had to
well.
reach level
in
10
that
on
lower
lock
bracket. But
clubs.
we won't be watching any of those. We'll be
Yeah, you gotta
watching
lower
qualifying
the level to
matches throughout
No.
today, including our first one, which is going to be the Renegades versus Forbidden match.
Yeah, and I think Renegades will very much be wanting to redeem themselves for, really getting upset last time by
My logo
the
looks
newcomers in
nice,
Forbidden
and
Gaming. But
looks
Forbidden Gaming just looked awesome last regional. We'll see if they can
Shut
keep
up.
it up.
Yeah, well, speaking of Forbidden Gaming, we get some news about them. So this week, Super Locky was unable to play for a large amount of these events because, well, as a 15-year-old, every now and again you want to play Rocket League instead of doing your assignments. So you get banned from playing Rocket League for a while. He's actually managed to come back
Dang,
somewhat,
imagine
and from what I've
the amount of
heard,
bots we're
it's
gonna
not
get
actually
to this
Vixen
So
game.
playing for Super
when I want to go
Locky.
revise,
It's actually Vixen playing for Banana Head,
and
who has to go and get a
how do I, like,
haircut
I'm
today.
deploying my shield for
I
when
just
I'm-
don't
when I'm
understand
not.
it. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
you know, only 23. maybe a bit more of a mature gentleman, how can you explain the parents valuing a haircut over possibly winning 5,000 USD again?
I don't know. It's just
And to
money, right?
provide-
But I think actually when it comes to that stuff, it makes sense that you know,
your
as a
character,
parent, you're going to think that
when you
the
revive
future is
someone,
good grades
there's, like, this
in
drone that
school
revives
and
for the
going a long
person.
way in university, because that's
If you see
100%
someone-
true. If
one
you
of us
think
needs
any of these
reviving, just
players
go up to
on
us and
Renegades,
press
who are full-time
Yeah,
players
and
except
you
for
can
Fever,
fight.
who also goes to school himself, are making a long-standing career for themselves, hoping to come top 1 every single event, well, we've seen Renegades results. That hasn't been the case. They've probably fallen a little bit short on that long-term
sounds
career
cool
kind of
here.
idea.
Renegades just get roasted pretty much
That's
every
too far.
regional by us, don't they?
Also, you're like the
Yeah,
perfect
whatever.
example, Jake.
Mhm.
Why aren't you still playing Rocket League if it's such a good career?
Dude, I'm still here. I'm still casting. It's all good.
Yeah.
The esports scene is growing.
He
Billion-dollar
says,
industry.
doing his thesis, trying to become an electrical engineer.
Yeah, but you know, Fever bringing in the new life into the team, the young blood, not worrying about that future or anything, just
Yeah.
having fun,
Low-key
being
forgot Hornet
very
was
good
in
and
this research.
bringing new life into Renegades.
Well, I do know Fever's had a few nights off recently due to having to do assignments, and you know, that's always going to be the case when you've got
Really?
school, and that usually does come first as well. So, interesting double-up stories. Fever is also very young, underneath 18 compared to
and
Right,
CJ
I'm
Kama,
done
and
yet.
of course compared to Siki, who is also full-time. So, well, Kami and CJ, I think we need to see them step
I
up
don't have
today.
a gun yet. No, I do.
Well, they need to beat Forbidden Gaming. I'll
Decent
tell you that
enough.
much. They
Zenith.
have a chance to avoid Ground Zero in that semi-finals, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for Renegades. They looked really good against Cringe Society, and then Forbidden Gaming kind of just rolled over them. And
Can I
Forbidden
at
Gaming, they
least
were
have the
playing fast, and they
Unreal
kind of
One,
brought the Renegade style to Renegades. So I really do feel like it's up to Renegades to step up. But yeah, if Forbidden Gaming don't have their core roster though, that might give Renegades the upper hand. And
Wait,
you know,
what's
it's hard to
this
beat a
drone? Is it-
team
yeah, that's
as
a
good as
drone bug.
Renegades if you're
Wait,
not at
what,
full
what's,
force.
It
what's
is
these
funny
gas grenades do?
listening to
It's like
CJ's
blue. Are they
explanation
like
of like their match
smoke?
Of
against
losing.
Forbidden. Is like he would talk about them, you know, not having a rotation and you know
Zenny,
being
shut up.
like ranked superstars, and
Oh, yeah.
and that's really hard to play
What do you
against if
mean
you've
by
never
smoke
played against it before. And
It
apparently they have scrimmaged them a
has
couple
a
of times
blue
now.
lightning logo.
But as you said, that's like the old Renegades way. That is,
Yeah.
Whenever
It's
CJ
like-
explains to anyone else, I'm like, you're just explaining yourself, but frustrated that someone else is doing the same thing.
No, you listen to players lose to anyone, and you just hear the weirdest
Okay.
excuses that don't make sense. So, you know,
Like a
they were
bit
very
but
unique,
Z,
right?
bro,
Especially,
like,
you know,
that's
Renegades
weird
don't
line.
understand what it's like to play against Renegades.
I am not
so,
used to Z.
maybe the other
Oh,
teams
yep.
would be a bit more adapt to that. We had Ground Zero
Okay,
looking
yeah.
a lot more
I don't have any more
comfortable. But
shields.
yeah, Renegades, it's
Shields.
probably new to them to see a team just throwing themselves at everything and
I
just
don't
not
want
worrying
that.
as much
You have
about
a-
defense.
Yeah, the major thing for Forbidden for
Yeah,
me
so
was their
far.
ability to
You had
save
a
on the
Take the zip
line
line, Gilbert.
and always still make it back for the next
We're next
save
to
and
zip
recover
line,
really
I don't
quickly. It
see
did
it.
remind me
Gilbert,
of the old
over
PSG
here,
lineup
next to me.
well back in the day where it just
Oh.
felt
Yeah,
like
for
they
goal.
somehow saved everything and then would score a goal. Even Riot Gaming, very similar when they were in form,
Yeah.
would just
Yeah,
save
or-
everything randomly
or
and then
need
score a
this.
goal.
Yeah,
sorry, you
everyone
don't
was
need
really
that.
stepping up on Forbidden
I
Gaming,
am?
but
Yeah.
to parallel, it's like PSG. It's like Scrub
You
just
can
had
get
a
on the zip
massive
line.
effort last regional, really similar to Shawset, where Shawset back in the good old days would just not let anything in, and Scrub was really the same, just always in defense, making these crazy saves one after another.
Yeah, well, obviously it
Or
wasn't random, I should say.
Gilbert
but
should-
it looks random. It looks
Remember,
like it's
White Pines
uncontrolled
don't
to
give
some
a
extent,
fuck.
but they're making all these saves on the line. They're playing
Zenny,
very
give
mechanically.
Gilbert the gold
And
back.
I think if you guys don't know Vixen subbing in for them, he's pretty much a bird of the feather
Bro,
when it
you're
comes
so-
to these players. He is another
No,
high
yeah,
mechanical
this,
player
helmet.
that
Equip.
should fit in the
Why
shoes of
is he
Banana Head, but I
the
feel like may not have that same synergy that they had last week.
Yeah, Twitch chat has
Uh,
a lot of faith in Renegades to get this revenge on Forbidden Gaming. You're right, like
Are
Dude,
you
what the
gonna
heck?
it's
revive
interesting though, because like we said, they
Yeah.
I
do
don't
feel
think
like
that
kind
is.
of like a ranked team.
thought
So
I'd
Vixen
get
has
40
those
kill
mechanics,
five
has the
dollars.
speed, has the the nerves of steel to not worry about being a sub and the difficulties with that.
always
Vixen
convenient.
subbing for scrum. So
Wait, what?
Yeah, what? Oh no, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay.
My bad.
Why are you baiting me like this, Jay?
I just thought it was funny that we almost got like baited that he was gonna sub for everyone, but
I'm meant to be the one with bad eyesight. That's why I'm wearing glasses. What's your excuse?
I'm not sure. I'm in it for the memes, I guess. But
and then my superpowers.
Banana Head is getting his hair cut. I hope he's having a good time, and hopefully Forbidden Gaming can win. Fever missing kind of a chance, and Kami not able to follow up either. So Forbidden Gaming getting away with some holes in their defense there, and they get another one, but Kami misses again.
This is typical Renegade start. You know, fighting the net, but not getting it in, and Fever's in an awkward angle here, but May be able to continue.
Kobe, I'm playing a game right now. Give me something you need.
CJ's is good. I don't. Well, come on.
What was it about? Sorry, I'm
maybe CJ's hair is a bit too long and he needs a haircut.
Yeah, he needs to get out of the way.
Give him an hour.
We do know that, by the way.
After this game, I'll cook the nugget.
Please be a goal. It's not. I do know that Banana Head.
I haven't had dinner yet. I'm starving.
It was just a one-off haircut at the start of the day, but because there is a bit of a break between this match and the later matches, he will be returning. So they will have their full roster later on, which is obviously a good sign for Forbidden.
Let's think positives as well, right? Maybe they're just so confident they can beat Renegades without.
Well, they did smash them last.
They did smash them, yeah. And Banana Head, was it against Renegades where he just scored that amazing flip reset goal? I think it was. So he really did show up, but it was a real team effort. Everyone was really putting in their own work.
The problem with that, though, was that even though it was a 4-1, and I feel pretty comfortable overall for Forbidden, all the individual games were still really, really close and tightly fought. So even just losing one small advantage against Renegades is going to be pretty tough. And we've seen a good few opportunities already from Renegades, so they are seemingly in a good spot.
I want to drop the ammo.
Again, if they can just score those goals.
Well, that was just silly. They missed like 5 chances in a row, and it's still 0-0. And
it's so common for them.
Oh, the ammo's like...
It is, isn't it? That's the weird part. But, Renegades kind of have been a team that it's surprising why they aren't doing as well as you probably expected. That's a big reason. Being able to finish your shots is massive in Rocket League.
They keep getting called the second best team in OCE, but that's based on scrims. For the they've been called that for the entire history. Oftentimes they were called the best team in OCE.
Well, that's my goal.
Now,
my goal is to
eventually team this week called Renegades the hardest team to play in scrims. So it's clearly about how they perform under RLCS conditions, and that's probably much better for them considering they have brought in a mentality coach, a professional sports psych, to be their permanent coach rather than a specific Rocket League coach.
Yeah, well, it's just so frustrating as a player when you can't perform like you do in scrims on game day, because it's difficult. It's hard to have like the knowledge to get past that and experience. Well, especially with the experience as well. Kami and CJ, they've been around the block, so it must be very frustrating to still be dealing with problems like that. But CJ finally getting on the board with a nice pass there from Kami.
That was great. And good speed from CJ. You expect him to be cutting forward. That's exactly what he does. A lot of trust from CJ, a lot of aggressive plays, and finally hits the target.
Yeah, really well played, just looking for that, right? Just hanging around the midfield, like you're saying. And Forbidden Gaming, that one definitely was coming. Renegades almost 5-0 up now at this point, and Forbidden Gaming, they've kind of been struggling a bit to make anything happen.
Kami's been opting for a few more pinches of late, but I think that's largely because of Fever. CJ is going to get one, but I am excited about Fever. I was talking about this last week, where he is so mechanical. It looks like he's inspiring Kami to be more mechanical as well.
Well, we saw that with Express very much. With,
once you have F as add to source on your team, you have to get a bit more mechanical, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's good just to like see your teammates doing it as well to get, just understand how to do it. Because I think as Rocket League players, it's really great to watch other people, but it's kind of hard to like have the the effort to do that, because it's just so much more fun to play.
And Fever's been going for a lot of cucks pinches of recent times, so that's again why I think Kami has kind of picked that up from him, and Fever's actually been very successful with it, and maybe even successful with this goal. It sinks in, but CJ couldn't get the power.
Yeah, CJ still making the most of it, staying nice and close, and really, you know, it's more about pressure here this game for Renegades. They've just shut down Forbidden Gaming and not let them really get anything going.
Yeah, they haven't had any scrapes in defense. So as much as we can, you know, make fun of the fact that Renegades have missed a lot of shots, I feel like they'd have been super comfortable throughout this game despite that, not really worried at any point in time. And that's somewhat how Forbidden Gaming
I was
probably
typing
felt
your
to them
username wrong. I was typing completely wrong.
where they scored more of their goals from counterattacks than anything else.
Yeah, it still did feel like Renegades were the ones in control, but just not getting on the board. So this is, you know, more to be expected. Renegades sinking the chances that they are earning just through really fast play. You can see CJ just not letting any kind of slow mistakes happen in the midfield.
Yeah, I feel like he's turned on his targeting computer finally. Previously was trying to use the Force, but CJ, you don't have that ability. So the third goal for Renegades, and heading towards game number 2 with first game going to Renegades. Last time it was Forbidden taking game 1.
Yeah, and you know, the first game in the series, kind of like the first goal in a game, but not as much. Generally, things can go back and forth, but certainly if things continue, Forbidden Gaming, they're going to have to bring out something new, especially when it comes to getting out of their half.
Yeah.
You know, with bigger clears. They're almost getting out of their half, but then Renegades able to get it right back to them.
Yeah, there's 2 shots to 13 as well because of that fact. Renegades are able to keep that attack going, but Forbidden Gaming,
plug into your PlayStation,
once they do get some room for themselves, we know they are able to make those plays. They just haven't been able to build that room just yet, Jay.
Well, Vixen, he's been playing very confidently, honestly. He was the most impressive in offense that game. For these guys, normally, you know, we saw Super Lucky being very confident last regional, maybe not feeling it as much. It's hard to tell with these new teams how consistent they'll be and how, you know, just hot of a day it was last time.
There is a bit of an unknown that we haven't talked about, is that Scrub and Vixen have played together on a team before. They played for a little while, ended up breaking up maybe due to results not getting as far as they wanted to. But that was certainly maybe even the Forbidden Gaming of the day, a very young roster overall. And so there's probably some level of synergy there, probably some level of comfort for Vixen, as well as the fact that he's played for them a couple of times this week.
Well, yeah, that might be affecting Super Lucky though, because again, like in threes, you really, how your teammates are playing can really affect you as an individual. If you're not confident that like certain balls are yours, you're not going to be as quick to them, and especially against Renegades, they're not gonna let you get away with that. So, Forbidden Gaming, they're really going to have to synergize and figure out what, you know, must have felt awkward, because, you know, we know they have it in them, especially like you're saying with Vixen playing well and having experience, at least with the duo of Scrub.
Well, Super Lucky was certainly that player who played the most defensively for them for Forbidden Gaming, like at least filled in the third man position the most times last finals. So pretty interesting to see. And Forbidden, this is more what we want to see from them. Scrub, a solo play end to end.
Yeah, and Fever just messing up this challenge. Scrub kind of just sticking himself behind the ball, but getting a really nice 50 past Fever, and maybe that's the confidence they need starting off the game with a goal.
I've also noticed of recent times that Fever does struggle in these kind of last man back situations, again, especially quick plays, but in that case just being at an awkward angle for the challenge, which opened up a 50 through into his own net. And I think that's just been more of the case because Renegades are playing much more with an aggressive Kami, and CJ is playing hyper aggressive, so we actually have more of a third man role from Fever compared to how he even was on Mindfreak.
And we see it a lot with players, you know. Fever, we've always been very impressed with his offensive skills, especially setting up plays with his dribbles. You know, he wouldn't be as naturally gifted as third man, if you think of it that way. But Fever really nicely playing his third man role here, pushing up really aggressively when it's important and outpacing Super Lucky.
There's a strong 50 as well from CJ to be able to get that into the center. So Renegades, they were only in a deficit for maybe 20 seconds max. They've already turned it around, and also good to see Fever get in on the striking, because it has been something that both we and himself have been worried about in recent times.
Yeah, and really well, again, like the confidence to come in as third man, that's difficult, especially with a new team, especially with aggressive teammates like you're saying. It shows that Fever's not letting the pressure of this new roster get to him, or, you know, the position they're in where they really do have to step up as a roster instantly to make that top 2 that they're looking for.
Oh, that was a very close redirect. CJ, again, still playing very, very aggressive on this, cutting forward, getting into positions where it's going to be awkward for Forbidden Gaming to know where he's coming from. And that's the beauty of his aggression from CJ. I mean, I do make light of it sometimes because, you know, he cuts off his teammates. But most of the time when CJ makes plays, he does it out of the blind spot of his opponent. So
yeah,
from the rear view mirror where they don't understand he's going to come from.
That's a good point. I still remember that from playing against CJ. Yeah. He just comes from these like unexpected angles, like you're saying, and it's because he stays so far forward from especially what we've been seeing this series.
He's been doing it quite well.
And there again, yeah.
Once more, staying very far forward means that he can be to this pass forward at first, and it makes Renegades just seem that much faster than they are. It's not about pace on the ground anymore. It's about being in the right position early, being very aggressive and playing. And, you know, when you do have the likes of Fever and Kami on your team, you've got to be able to trust those 2 players to get the ball forward.
Yeah, and again, looking back at Forbidden Gaming, starting to see it in threes, it can be really difficult figuring out who's the second man and who's the third man. And if you're not very like you know, well tuned with that, it can lead to players being a bit slower, and you can kind of see it from Forbidden Gaming. The confidence from last regional certainly isn't there at the moment. But again, maybe, you know, we've seen a lot of teams struggle early on in the series as well. Here's a really good chance. CJ pushing up, but not able to find the demo. Yeah,
you speak about Forbidden Gaming last time. They were so quick. They were beating everybody in the air, beating Torsos in the air, which is always a good feat. And we're not seeing the same thing this time, but they're not playing mechanically slower. They're just a little bit more unsure of when they're meant to be going up for these balls.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing. You know, like, confidence is a massive thing of speed. It's really, it's less about mechanics and more about just knowing that it's your ball to go for. Yeah, that's a bit of miscommunication there for Forbidden Gaming, and CJ just so aggressive, not letting them get away with it.
That's frustrating, just because it always felt like, despite things not quite going their way, that Forbidden could easily win this game.
Yeah.
But a miscommunication, 2 players on the backboard, is going to happen when you have a sub. So now they're going to have to figure out how to quickly get on the attack. They've had more opportunities in this game, but they can't afford to let themselves get scored on right now. CJ misses, as I'll allow him this one. You know, only 1 in a game is fine.
CJ actually set that up for himself really nicely, so he's going to be really disappointed that he ended up missing that. But Renegades in the lead at the moment. They don't need a goal, so pressure's on Forbidden Gaming at the moment.
Especially when you have Fever playing, you know, quite passively on the way back, it can be very difficult for Forbidden Gaming to find that room. That time, Renegades had both Kami and Fever playing more for the defense, while CJ kind of plays more disruptive up forward.
Yeah, so we have Renegades still just piling on the pressure. Fever looking so confident again. He looks really, he seems to really understand the Renegades rotation at the moment. And you can see the difference between, you know, Fever feeling super confident, being quick, and the lack of that in Forbidden Gaming.
Yeah, it's, I mean, we keep unfortunately talking about Forbidden Gaming not kind of having that confidence. It's just expected when you are bringing a sub, when you're not playing with your core roster. And even this week, they were playing with Vixen, but they were playing with Vixen instead of Super Lucky, playing with Banana Head all throughout the week. So even then, it's a quick change of dynamic. The positive sign for that is that they got better game 1 to game 2. This may be another goal, as just not able to save it. They got better from game 1 to game 2, and I expect that to continue. I do expect Forbidden to get more comfortable and confident as the series goes on, as long as they don't let their first couple of games get in their head.
Yeah, it's got to be hard, you know, because they got to be really disappointed. They'd be thinking, oh, if Banana Head was here, this game was so close. I'm sure he would have made the difference. Yeah, and especially younger guys, not used to the tournament setting as much. We don't know what their mentality or their comms are like, but you do need to, you know, lift it up if you do want to, you know, get a reverse sweep against a great team like Renegade.
I think another positive as well for Forbidden Gaming is, even if they were to lose this series, I think knowing that Banana Head is coming back for the next one, for a lower bracket match, if they were to lose, they're going to still be really confident that they're going to make it through to the next day.
Yeah, and yeah, that's right. Maybe in the series, it can be hard to pick up mentality with the sub, but it is awesome. You know, moving forward, you're fresh as a team. Nothing to worry about like changing anything. It's just like bring things back to normal. But at the moment, for Big Gaming, they need to look at this Renegades and just figure out how to get out of their half more consistently.
Once they do get out, I think they're going to be quite successful because all three of them are great solo players. We saw that with Scrub, able to get a solo goal. We saw it all last week with everybody scoring solo goals for the most part. And that's usually really rare in Oceania for a team to be so successful with only solo plays, but that shows just how good Forbidden are at them. But that means they need a little bit of space on this pitch.
We were starting to turn into a bit of an old region. Lots of older players coming in, but you know, Forbidden Gaming, they are the new kids on the block. You know, the young players within all regions just generally have these awesome mechanics to bring out, and yeah, that's what we saw last regional. Scrub is getting a lot of mishits as well. He's got to be a bit disappointed by that as well, but
you didn't mishit that leg of the TV there. You smashed it.
No, I smashed that pretty hard. That was good.
Your accuracy is still very high. They have been playing competitively for a long time. And
now Vixen is in the Merc. They're all in the Merc, so maybe they're going that way. Oh no, Scrub's still in the Octane, but you know, maybe shows the mentality of these guys.
Well, Vixen's played a lot of the Merc, so I wouldn't worry about it. Super Lucky, maybe not so much.
Oh, the Merc just looks so silly. Well, especially, I mean, the Merc's such a new car now, so...
yeah. The reason you say that, right, is because they changed the hip hop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, it's I don't know, like, have you played much of the new Merc, Yummy? Does it feel, like, intuitive, or is it strange with the
Do I look like
change?
a Merc player to you?
You look like a guy who has some fun, tries out new things, Yummy.
I play the Fatmobile, that's what I play. The Tumbler, the Dark Knight Rises Tumbler, because it's awesome. And because people get really frustrated with you playing a weird-looking car. But I've been playing a lot more of the Octane and Fennec recently anyway, because I was talking to Kami and he said that the reason I can't flip reset is because I'm on the Tumbler.
Oh, and has it helped?
Yeah, well, I got a flip reset over the top of a player, so a professional player, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, come on, name drop, which one?
Shores. He's another 15-year-old, so nice shot here from CJ, finding that top angle. We will talk about the game after a minute of the game goes by.
Yeah, well played by Renegades. CJ just having a big series, playing very fast, just getting in the face, and like we were talking about last week, that's really what he's best at and has always been known for.
It's probably a call to no, saved out by Forbidden Gaming, so it's going to be tough. Again, they don't feel like they're going to be a high-scoring team right now in their current position, and they're going to have to find out how to get that same defense they had in previous time. That frustrating defense. That's how I always describe it. Super frustrating, and if you can frustrate your opponents, it causes them to overcommit a lot more. That's what opens up the net pretty easily, and you might find some more goals that way. But you're not going to frustrate anybody if you're making saves while they're in the lead.
Well, that's also what gave them an advantage against Renegades, because Renegades always win with their offense. That's the way they like to play. So if they are getting frustrated, if they are trying to do more and push forward, it was creating those holes for the solo players to come out. But at the moment, Renegades' rotation is just looking so solid.
Also, you did talk about earlier the OCE becoming an old man's game, but we've had multiple people, including Fever, as really young, recent additions, all mechanical. Anthus, great example of that as well. And they're all making their huge marks at the very top of OCE now.
Yeah, especially recently. And they've Fiber as well as one that comes to mind. Just it's these really young guys that just come out and just have these awesome mechanics and just really can put teams on their back with them when they're feeling good about it.
So why do old men like Kami and CJ not have mechanics?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask them, Yummy, but maybe their fingers are getting a few wrinkles on them.
I think Kami is literally 20 years old, so I'm worried about it. He's probably been spending too much time in the bath rather than playing the game at that point. It's what we've noticed, you know, with the exception actually of Express, who had a period of high mechanics, but even then, I feel like lately we haven't seen any major examples of high mechanical plays, even from Express, who worked really hard at it. So it's really odd to see.
Honestly, what I kind of noticed from it is like, the older players seem to keep up like kind of with the mechanics, but they can't tend to like score as much as these new players with them. Like you see Fiora just scoring these awesome dribble goals, Ampha's getting crazy flip resets and double touches so consistently, and you see you know, the other players going for them, but it seems like you're really lacking that kind of sharpness to really get it in every time.
You know as well what I actually think it is, now that I've given it a little bit more thought, as in 10 seconds of thought, which is pretty much the most I give anything, is that these older players come from a time where just being really, really, really solid mechanically was the most important thing. Really just being able to hit the ball as well as possible, being the fastest up to an aerial. And a lot of the younger players come from ranked, where everybody's focusing on flip resets, off the roof plays, that kind of stuff, where you come out and then once you do get into these tournaments, you've already got those kind of more crazy level mechanics.
No, it's a great point. Like, I think consistency and hitting the ball solid still is probably the most important thing at the highest level, but at the same time as well, the younger guys have gone, you know, great at that as well. And then if you can have both, it puts you on the next level. Yeah,
I keep arguing these days, you know, it was probably about 2 years ago that flip resets were just a nice-ish to have. I feel like they're a must-have now, because you're in this position where if you can't, you are limiting how much you can threaten in the air. You are not giving yourself the option to fool a defense, whether in the past it was just a thing that might be able to get you the little edge.
I think it's because we've just seen the consistency at which some players can get it, so that you want to raise the standards and think that, you know, all professional players should at least have it in their arsenal, maybe not as well as others. CJ having a massive game, just punishing every little mistake Forbidden Gaming is making, and you know, Renegade just running away with this series. Forbidden Gaming getting kind of rolled over.
Yeah, it was a great pass play as well, coming out from Renegades there, and yeah, pretty creative too, considering, oh my goodness, the double fake, almost a goal for Renegades. It felt like if that went over the top of Super Lucky. Though, I would say Super Lucky has really good reactions, so if Kami had got some height on that one, I think he would have been able to jump to it.
Yeah, so, you know, Forbidden Gaming, they're definitely going to be looking for that lower bracket round. Again, it's stressful, you know, this new day 3, it's really putting teams, making sure they show up for every game, because last time Forbidden Gaming going through the first seed in day 3, and now, you know, they're going to be struggling to get into the top 8.
Well, Renegades do take this first series. They've qualified through to the top 8, the final day. A quick day for them, as they started the earliest of anyone at 10 AM, and they are already into the finals and the prize money.
And they look pretty awesome doing it. Like, very solid, just ran over Forbidden Gaming. That's an important thing to be able to do. We've seen Ground Zero, especially on like the day 1 and day 2s, just missing out on, you know, beating teams they probably should consistently, and Renegade's just showing that, you know, they're getting those rotations solid. They're not going to give any like silly mistakes away to get exploited like that.
They did struggle at the very beginning to score some goals, but the beauty was that only lasted one game. After that, they seemed to be able to sink every single one, accuracy up there, and that's the kind of Renegades we look at when we want to see a Renegades in the grand final, maybe even with a chance of taking down Ground Zero at some point throughout this competition, which is likely going to come up as an important part of a run up to Worlds.
Well, Renegades, they need those number 1s. They need to close that gap. It's going to be difficult to close the gap with Cringe Society if they're, you know, just getting semi-final victories like we saw. The gap really didn't close that much, and the big point difference come in that first to second, where it's like 101 points. The second to third, where it's like, you know, bigger points again. You really need to get those high placings, and Renegades look like they're, you know, in a good spot to get that.
They are, but still a ways to go. They still have to play tomorrow. That they have made that first leap into the top 8. And we'll see a lot more of them, I'm sure, as we do expect them to have some long runs. A lot of teams are really picking out Renegades, as I said, as that top 2 or the second best team behind Ground Zero right now. And they just haven't been able to perform on these RLCS weekends in the past.
Yeah, so looking good at the moment, but it's hard to know if Forbidden Gaming, looking a bit slow, a bit unorganized. I'm looking forward to hopefully a Cringe Society rematch. I think that would be really awesome because Cringe Society will have a lot riding on that as well because, they had a great chance last time to extend the gap, and Renegades are the ones they're going to want to take down again.
And Renegades will also be interested in what's going to happen in the Mind Freak versus Ground Zero series because that may determine who they end up playing first round or second round in the semifinals next week, assuming they win the first round. So pretty important matchup in terms of those results for Renegades. Forbidden Gaming, as we said, they're going to have Banana Head once again later on today, so they will have their core roster, and I'm still expecting them to make the top 8.
Yeah, the Renegades, great team, playing really well as well. Possibly even Forbidden Gaming with their full roster would have struggled. Doesn't look like we have all the stats here, but you can see Forbidden Gaming really struggling to get on the board.
Well, this is probably the biggest not differential, but multiplier of shots for teams. 41-9.
Yeah, that's
4
crazy.
times the number of shots from Renegades as there were for Forbidden, and you saw that Game 3 they had 3 shots, Game 1 they had 2 shots. Game 2 was the one where they had a few more, but actually they would have had 4 in that Game 2, given the other 2 games. So to keep a team to 4 shots max, you're always pretty much going to win those. And yeah, a bit of a disappointment here for Forbidden, but again, bringing in their sub.
You got to think as well, is this Fever having a high impact on the Renegades team? Because they kind of won that in Mind Freak style, just did not let Forbidden Gaming get anything done. They just pinned them in their half, and that's generally not what we see from Renegades. And, we were a bit critical of Fever, making that mistake as third man, letting that goal in, but he also had really great third man, especially aggressive plays, staying forward, getting some goals, keeping pressure, and I think that's added a lot to the consistency of Renegades.
Yeah, well, it is interesting to see Renegades kind of evolve over time. We'll have a chance to talk to CJ about it as they've kind of moved that playstyle from a really, really hyper-aggressive one to more of a mixed one. So let's actually have a talk to CJ now. CJ, first off, congrats on the win. Congrats on putting on your jersey in time for the interview as well.
Yeah, no worries. It was a bit cold this morning, so definitely had a jumper on. Good old Tassie. But yeah, it was good to get the win. Pretty short Saturday, sort of get up at 10 a.m, play a few games, and then we're off. So
Wait,
I don't know what to do the rest of my day.
Woke up at 10 a.m. or you on a better sleep schedule nowadays?
No, Yummy. You know as good as anyone. Sleep's very important, ladies and gentlemen out there. So up nice and early, feeling good.
What's nice and early? 9:30.
8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Alarms off. We're ready to go.
Cool. That series, you guys really rolled over Forbidden. Honestly, it seemed like kind of a new style. You guys keeping the pressure really well and some really nice aggressive third man plays. Has Fever kind of brought that to you guys, recreating the play style with him now in the mix?
Yeah, I think he's been huge. Like he sort of, when he came in, he sort of knew like the pressure style. He knew how to play that sort of way. But I think at the same time, it was probably more just us as a team being together now for a little bit longer. Another 2 weeks together has been huge. And I think particularly against Forbidden, like last time we beat Cringe in the quarters, and then I guess we're like, who are these new kids on the block? We hadn't really figured them out, and we definitely did a lot of work throughout the week with some replays on those guys. Obviously, they didn't have Banana Head today, so that was probably a big thing for them, but I'm still pretty proud of the way that we went about it the same way, and sort of what we reviewed on their style, it sort of worked against them, so it was good.
What do you think the difference would have been if they had Banana Head?
Probably just more mechanical or just solo playability, I guess. Last time he was hitting flip resets off the ceiling, double touch, no scope, 720 across the map. So yeah, that was probably huge for them, just the area of the solo play. But I think overall we really sort of nullified any chance for them to have an attack. So I think, yeah, the reviews that we did do throughout the week and just trying to play a bit more of a solid pressure style that you guys saw seemed to really work.
Yeah, it looked awesome. Going into tomorrow, are you guys confident against Cringe Society and maybe hoping to go against them in the quarters again to knock them down, or is there another team you'd rather face early on?
Absolutely. Please keep giving us cringe society in the quarterfinals. We obviously everyone knows the current race for the second spot, so we need to be beating them or getting a better position than them. So what better chance to do that than to play them in the quarters and knock them out ourselves? So hopefully, but other than that, we'll just keep focusing on ourselves and trying to keep just worrying about the next series.
In before Ground Zero lose the upper bracket match and you're versing them first round. Well.
Yeah, that'd be rough. But again, we'll just you don't want to flirt with